Um, this kind of brings up the other point that I wanted to make regarding lack of podcast ideas.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, the Charlie Sheen update is certainly an idea and that we're pursuing. But lately I've been talking to more people about what we're doing on YouTube and our podcast, and generally people are pretty excited about podcasts. Oh, I'm going to do that too. And so the conversation will go along the lines of like, okay, what do you want to, like, what's your idea? And they're like, we will have an idea. Which is similar to kind of how we started. Like, we have no idea what we're doing. Right. And that's fine, but you you move forward anyway. So go ahead.
I kind of think that, like, if you can hold a good conversation with the person that you're doing the podcast with, then you don't really need topics. You could just sit and talk. And if it's interesting enough, then it's interesting enough. But
that's true.
If that's not the case, then there's a million things you could talk about. Because there are sort of like topic specific podcasts like Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, or I can't think of others, but like there's one, the one about Woodstock that I talked about, and then there's one, just stuff like that. But you could freeform too. I like freeform. I like just talking. But I like how I like how we do sort of have our things and then we kind of go off on tangents in the middle and have things in between, and we add our own flair to each topic.
Well, sure, it's interesting to us, and hopefully it's interesting to other people. But most, I guess, I don't know if most, but many podcasts are more specific, topically oriented. And that's what people generally think of when they think of, I want to do it too, but I don't have any ideas. And I guess the best suggestion is just do it, and the ideas will come organically. But that's not generally enough.
No.
For people to like say, well, because I'm not hearing anything like specific, like, I want to do a show about this. So I figured, we could do a service sort of now, and because I have some ideas I thought about it, and I have some ideas about what other people might take on as a topic for their own shows. So
cool.
The first one would be record yourself making dinner and describe what you're making, and it's always bacon. Right. That's like every show, you're recording yourself making dinner, describing what you're making, and then it's always bacon. And that, it could be called Always Bacon. Like, always bacon. Like, you could, okay, well, there's one. You could interview everyone in the United States Russ America with the last name Smith. Like, interview everybody named Smith. That would be a big undertaking, but probably really interesting. Let's see. How about this? Interview people who make podcasts.
Ooh.
Very meta, that one. Like,
I feel like the Matrix is colliding in really rabbit hole now.
It's kind of the Matrix crossed with Inception.
Yes, it's totally that.
Whoa. Let's see. How about a podcast for someone who works from home, and each show is only 15 seconds from the bedroom to the couch. Like, it's the commute. It's called The Commute, and it's you interview all these people who work from home, and each episode is only 15 seconds long because they have to wake up and then go to their desk.
Yes! I'm down. I totally listen to that. And that would get so many views because it's so short. People would just click it because it's 15 seconds. They'll watch it.
Right. I've been thinking about, well, that's one of the reasons I started clipping things out more so that people have a better option of not devoting, 45 minutes or an hour and a half to us, which is, it's flattering that someone would, but, I'd rather give someone the option of maybe like spending 5 minutes with us because, well, it's more convenient.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's see. This is an interesting idea that I found. So it's basically like a chain letter in a sense. Like, so I interview you, you interview someone else, that person interviews someone else, and you go on like that with a chain of people interviewing each other one after the other.
A chain. Maybe so it's a chain cast.
Back around. Yeah, maybe it
chain
back
cast
around to the beginning. Chain cast.
Yeah, that sounds good actually. Yeah, that sounds really interesting.
Right, you get like 10 people who all sequentially interview each other in a circle and see how things change over the course of each round. That could be really
that would be
I'm giving away
so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you should do that.
Well, I feel confident that no one will do this. So,
no, I'm pretty confident either, too. People are lazy.
Oh, here's a lazy one. So, hey, what should I make my podcast about, bro? So you could talk to people who will recite a list of items they've purchased in the past week, and like they can tell you about the purchases during the last week, all the things they bought.
Huh.
Yeah, I think most
very
of the time
commercial.
it would be really mundane and boring, but you never know.
And almost like an advertisement for each store, so you should get sponsorship from the store if you're putting it out there for them,
Or each item.
Yeah.
Man, that sounds like money. Could be money.
That's big money.
You could talk to people about sports who don't watch sports. We kind of did that already, though, with Chunks. Although...
Yeah.
Because he doesn't
Wrestling
really
isn't
watch
really a
sports
sport.
we know about. Well, we're talking about soccer, excuse me.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So we both had some familiarity with the game, but we don't watch it. So it kind of devolved into just picking our favorite country regarding the World Cup. Like, and that really, I don't know. That seems kind of. I guess that's what the World Cup really is about, anyway. Like, who's your favorite country, kind of thing.
But, if you want to, to me, the World Cup is really just a political TV show with like players acting out politics on the field. But sure.
No, absolutely. Yeah, that's really what it is, because it's ultimately who the fuck cares.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Oh, okay. Is a little political angle. Interview people. Now, this would be a more infrequent, but interview people about elections who don't have the right to vote.
Oh yeah, that sounds great.
Like they can't affect it whatsoever. Like, what do you think about the election?
That's highly kind of like Carlin-esque, George Carlin.
Right? Oh, wow, his whole perspective of like voting because
because you don't vote. Yeah, you get the opinion too because you're not voting. You get to have an opinion.
That's right. Podcast about vacations that you can only listen to at work. Like a podcast about vacations that you've never taken. Well, Yeah.
Yeah.
We should critique of the New York Times wedding section.
Oh, God, please shoot me now.
Yeah, see, it's getting worse. It's getting really
Okay,
bad.
I'm kind of done with this now.
Sure. Let's wrap it up because that was going nowhere quickly.
Yeah.
The difficulty in people deciding who think they want to do a podcast what to actually do it about it, because these ideas went from okay to miserable very quickly.
Yes.
Right.
I was also talking